Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'm happy to be here, and I hope you're just as excited to be here. For those of you who have seen me on social media, and for those of you who don't know me, let me introduce myself. I am Maxine C. Smith, and I am a personal and development career coach. So, what I do is, and what I'm going to do is, I'm going to share how to reinvent your career, what blocks you have, how to remove them, how to move to your next role without the anxiety, and most importantly, how to get clarity first because nothing can be done unless you are clear on where you're heading and where you want to be. So let's kick off. This session is being recorded, so you will get a copy of it. If you hop over to my YouTube channel, it will be made available. So let's say today we are going to be covering our goals. I just want to navigate there. So today's goals. By the end of today's session, you'll understand why you feel stuck. You'll discover your next career direction. You will learn practical transition frameworks and you will leave with a clear next step. Because I know it can be daunting and it can be exhausting when you don't know where you're going, when you're unclear of what you want to achieve. And that's why I'm here to help you. So if we go to our next slide, I'm just going to give you a little bit about myself. So how did I arrive at this point? A little bit of my corporate background. I have 20 plus years in corporate. And my journey didn't start off in IT. It didn't start off with me having a degree or anything like that. It started off simple. I worked in a salon and I transitioned then into a normal call center agent. I was in sales. And from there, because I knew within myself, there's more. There's more that I wanted in life. There's more that I wanted to learn. There's more that I wanted to achieve. And that is why I can map out the process with you today. And you always get to a point where you achieve success time after time after time, whether you getting another role, whether it's a promotion and you're getting into a higher band. If you work in the financial industry, you'll understand what I mean when I say bands. But you still feel like something is missing, something on the inside, the core of you. You're just not where you want to be yet. So, my entire journey started off humble. When they say you have humble beginnings, yes, that was me. Humble beginnings. I transitioned into so many roles within the IT space. I was always curious and I always wanted to know, how do I get to the next? And eventually going through each role got me to a point where I reinvented my entire career, which led me to coaching and personal development. And for me, because I've experienced and I've lived through this, it's it comes naturally. It's easier for me to navigate and to help professionals gain clarity and confidence because I've seen that too many times throughout my corporate career. So many of you are skilled, you are talented, you are educated, but you lack confidence. So we're going to go through this. And remember, as a coach, this is what we help you do. I help you identify where you are stuck, what is happening internally in your mind. Because if your mind is not clear, if you don't have a clear path to where I want to be, you're never going to move forward. Clarity you have to have clarity in order to know where you're going next. And you don't have to figure it out alone. I walk you through step by step and I give you the skills, the techniques, and even the tools to equip you through this journey. So here we have a poll. If you look at where you are right now in your career and you ask yourself, how aligned do you feel? How connected are you to your career where you're now. And on a scale of 1 to 10, is either you're not aligned at all, you're just doing what you get paid to do, but your heart is not in it. Your mind is not in it. Or you could be on a scale where you are on this level, from the sixes up to the tens, where you are fully aligned. You love what you do. You're engaged, you're growing, you're moving forward. So let's find out. Where are you right now? And ask yourself, be honest. It's an honest conversation you have to have with yourself. No one can determine where you're going in life. If you give someone the roadmap to your success, you are giving them the key to your future. So you take back the control and you determine where you want to be. What does your next look like? What does your ultimate dream job or dream life look like? So after you answer this poll, it will give you an idea if you're aligned somewhat, not at all, or if you're fully aligned. So let's move on to the next one. Here's where I hear most of the time, even when I used to be in corporate, when I used to mentor, and when I used to coach. And it would be from sales consultants to specialists to analysts. There comes a point in your career and you go, or we like to say out loud, I feel stuck. You're not stuck. You're just out of alignment. Because when you started off, you had an idea, or maybe it was an opportunity that you were afforded at the time. And you thought, well, I'm in the company that I want to be in, or I've landed the job I've always wanted, or I have my foot in the door and I'm going to grow. But so many times you don't have a mentor that's going to usher you through this process. And you find yourself in the same role years and years after. And you start feeling as if you're adding no value. There's no benefit to you besides getting paid to do what you do. And you feel like something's missing. You're not stuck, people. You're just out of alignment. So let's see, how can I help you? What does it look like? So this is burnout, people. When you're out of alignment, this is what you will experience. And trust me, I've been through it all, through all of the roles that I have had in corporate. There comes a point in time, and this is body, mind, and soul. When your body starts burning out, this is what it looks like. You're exhausted, you're overwhelmed. Mentally, you feel like you have a brain block. You just cannot focus the way you used to. You cannot be innovative the way you used to be. You just can't get out of this rut. And you lack energy. And many a times I've heard guys that I've worked with, I used to go to the gym, but now I'm so drained. I cannot do it any longer. And you feel that you're not fulfilled with what you're doing any longer. You you're doing it for the sake of it has to be done. I have to produce results. And somewhere along the line, the quality of your work, it starts to get sloppy. And you feel restless. Your attention is not where it used to be. And you just feel like where I am is not where I am meant to be. You lack that excitement. You lack that interest that you once had. And you're trying to figure out how can I get it back. So when you look at the slide, look what burnout looks like. Look what misalignment looks like. Your burnout says, I need rest. Misalignment says, I need change. Know the difference between the two so that you can identify where am I and what needs to change. So here we go. Here's 5 signs that it's time for career change. And There will be an element of fear of the unknown, and that's normal. But don't do nothing, do something. Even if it scares you, do it anyway. And the favorite, I know I've been here. You dread Monday mornings. Once the sun sets on a Sunday afternoon and you're preparing for Monday, you try and mentally charge yourself up, rejuvenate, but it's like you have this overbearing tiredness that leaps over into Monday mornings where you literally have to drag yourself out of bed, out of your home, into the office, whether it's virtual or physical office. And you feel emotionally disconnected. This is where you start to see it is time. You've outgrown your current role, your current career. It's time to move on. And you find yourself that you start questioning what used to seem normal, what used to seem quite simple, because you want deeper meaning. You crave it. And then you start feeling guilty for wanting more, which comes with the journey. It's absolutely normal. And listen, it is okay to want more. We're humans. We want bigger and better. We want to put ourselves there, out there. Some of us, we are yearning to be recognized. We are yearning for that title. And I know for so many of you, just to have a certain job with a certain title behind your name means the world to you. And that is okay. It's your life speaking to you. So let's look at this old mindset versus new mindset. The old mindset says, I'm starting over, which scares a lot of people. But you shouldn't be afraid because you're not starting over. You have experience, you have skills. Some of you have an education. And even if you don't have, and let me be clear on this, if you don't have a degree or certain certifications behind your name, there are free resources where you can actually get certified to get your foot in the door, where you can be mentored, where you can be coached in order to reach your destination. Think about it. Position yourself in this manner. How you think is what you put out, and that is how you will behave going forward. The new mindset says, I'm starting aligned. That gives you hope, it keeps you motivated, and it pushes you towards your goal, your ideal, what it looks like. So now, this is what the Career Clarity Workbook looks like. It starts with your identity. Know yourself. And when I say know yourself, everyone can speak into your career and say, oh, but I think you're cut out to be an engineer. I think you're cut out to be a doctor. I think you're cut out to be in the IT space. You should be in leadership. You should be a consultant. You should be a business owner. Go within. You know yourself better than anyone else. You know your strengths. You know your weaknesses. You know your skills. You know what you can and can't do. You know what your limitations are. And you know you can work on it. Secondly, alignment. Live in harmony. What does that mean? Harmony means once I know myself, I am at peace. I know where I'm heading, and I know or I have an idea of what I need to get there. Then you center yourself. And then we come to action. You start taking actionable steps. You're intentional. And this is what I tell all of the mentees or the people that I've coached. It's one thing when you talk about, I want to be in that role. I want to take that next step. But You do nothing. You sit back. Nothing is going to fall in your lap if you don't do anything about it. You have to be intentional. What do I want to do? What do I want to achieve? And by when? That way, you hold yourself accountable. And in all of this, knowing yourself, awareness. It all starts with awareness. See clearly. Because when I am aware of my situation, my circumstance, it opens up my thinking. I start thinking differently. I question. I get involved. I start volunteering because now I'm no longer content with where I am, but I'm making sure that I get to where I want to be. I'm being intentional about it. And this is an exercise that you can do on your own time. And this I've also covered in the Clarity workbook. Be honest, be truthful. What drains your energy? And it's when you're sitting at your desk, whether you're at home, whether you're in the office, you will feel it, you will acknowledge it, and you'll become aware of it. If I'm getting tired, what is it? Where, in which moment did I feel my energy is being drained? And then look outside of the spectrum. What excites me? And as you go through, I know coming from an IT background, most people would say, finding a bug excites me, coding excites me, testing excites me, or being on a call with a client excites me. Find what excites you. And then ask yourself on the third point, what am I tolerating? Because sometimes we tolerate so much that it becomes the norm and we get lost in the process. And now, if you look at these elements, I'm confused, I'm clear, or I'm confident. Where are you? When you're confused, it means you're uncertain and you're overwhelmed by the role that you play, you don't even know if you're adding value anymore. You're uncertain and you start doubting and questioning yourself. That's on this level. Once you get out of this zone, and this is where your awareness starts, you get into being clear. You get clarity and perspective. I want to be the next. I want to go and do the next. I want to take up a cause the next. I want to get myself a coach or a mentor. Now you're getting clear. And in gaining that clarity, you become confident because you've identified where you want to be and the steps that you want to take. You're taking back your control. You're harnessing your confidence. You're walking in alignment. So it's not just about finding a new job. It's about becoming a new you. Confidence always looks good on you. Now, a little bit about my reinvention story. I spent 20 years in corporate. So from a sales background, I was in retail for some time, and then I ended up in IT. I eventually I achieved success. I achieved role after role, but something was missing. Every time something was missing, I wasn't satisfied. It led to burnout. Burnout, I was exhausted. I couldn't get myself out of bed sometimes. And then I had to go through, what is it that I'm craving? I'm craving purpose. What does my purpose look like? What comes naturally to me? I coach, I mentor, I help people to get to the next level. That was my identity shift. I've outgrown my corporate career, which served me well. And now I'm shifting. I'm shifting. And when I did the shift, it didn't come overnight. It was a process. I needed to get clarity, identify my purpose, map out the steps I was going to take, which transitioned me into becoming a coach. and having my own coaching business. And that is the true transformation where I can now take all of my experience and feed it back into the community, into you, to help you get to your next step because I've lived through it. So I chose alignment over approval because that is where my heart lies, in helping others achieve success, in helping others identify what their next looks like. That was the gateway for me. Now, your career transition clarity coaching, what happens? What do you gain? Career clarity, you gain confidence, you get direction, and you get held accountable because it's in one thing that a coach is helping you to navigate where you need to be, how you need to get there. But if you're not putting in the effort, if you're not showing up, if you're not doing the work, it's useless. So you have to ask yourself, am I committed to my own journey? And I'm going to hold myself accountable to get to my next. And there's practical action plans that you also get throughout this entire process. So by having someone, and most people will tell you it's easy to have an accountability partner. What does that mean? That's where your coach and mentor comes in. We hold each other accountable. I check in with you. What have you accomplished this week or this month? How far are you on your roadmap? Are we still clear? Are we still on the right path? Do we need to make an adjustment? That is what an accountability partner is. And that way, you get to where you want to be at your own pace. Because remember, everybody is not the same. So, if you do want clarity, you can book a 30-minute, and remember this is a free 30-minute consultation. I do not charge for this. Because by me having a normal conversation with you, we will unpack what your next looks like for you, where you are. Are you in alignment or are you feeling stuck? And remember, feeling stuck says, I'm out of alignment. And this is where we can draw out a roadmap for you. So remember, your career is personal. Your journey is personal to you. People can speak into it, but you've got to take action. So if you want, my details are at the bottom of the screen. You can scan the barcode and you can book your free 30-minute consultation with me, and I'll guide you through the process. And if there's any Q&A, please drop it in the chat and I will definitely get back to you. I will explain. I will spend time with you because once you have someone that can usher you into the next step, that's why there's coaches, that's why there's mentors like me to help you navigate the next steps. And this is the end of our webinar. Thank you so much for your engagement. Thank you so much for showing up to date because I always tell everybody when I see someone achieving success in their lives, that is my reward. So hop over. My details are on the screen. You can visit my website. You can leave a review and you can also read through the previous reviews from clients that I've mentored and coached and hear what they have to say for yourself. Thank you, everyone. Have yourselves a good evening and all the best in your career transition. Remember, if you want the free workbook, sign up for the newsletter and I will send it straight to your mailbox. Thank you. Goodbye.